Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm excited because it's the end of the month, which means I get to show you what I colored. I will say that I did not do as many this month because I was kind of working on some other projects. I wanted to finish some things, and also I just needed to kind of relax a little bit because I was starting to feel a little burned out because I pushed myself very hard the past few months to get some really big artistic projects done. But I'm feeling recharged, and I feel like I got a decent amount done for not really focusing too much on coloring this month. I will start off with this one in Doodlers Anonymous. This was actually one that I did last month that I forgot to show. I've changed my system, so now hopefully I can remember better which ones I did that month. But this is all with ink pens. I was just kind of playing with it, still getting to know it a little bit, and just kind of seeing how it works on this paper. This paper is not the best for ink tints or water media, but I think it still turned out really fun. And the background reminds me of upholstery on buses or on those cups from the 90s. You know what I'm talking about. I hope. But yeah, that was really fun to do. And then another one that was just kind of a quick, I want to color something really fast. I spent maybe 20-30 minutes on it, and I had a lot of bad luck with it because I ended up spilling water when I was almost finished with it, but it was kind of a happy accident, except for this part right here, because I got some pretty glowy effect on the mountains, so that was kind of like, oh, that looks really pretty. And then I wasn't paying attention when I was doing this pattern, and this ray is coming out here, but I started over here, and so what I did was I just drew a line right here to make it look like part of the pattern. So now you know why this, it's just kind of crazy, but it's still pretty. I still like it. And this was in with Arteza brush pen, and it was in Ticket to Dreams. Alright, next up from Phantomorphia, of course, is this picture. I'm really sad because my book is starting to fall apart, but thankfully it's small enough that it's not going to be too crazy, I guess. And it's nice that they're single-sided. So this is the one that I worked on. I really like the color scheme that I ended up coming up with. I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants a little bit. When I first got this book, I thought I would be doing red or yellow roses, but then thought doing a dark rose would be really cool. So I did the super dark. I used a dark blue and grays because I didn't want to use black, because this would just be more warm, if that makes sense. And then so with that I used polychromos, and then for the crown, the kind of bronzy colors that I used with the polychromos were number 280, 182, and then the yellow ochre. And I used Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils for the foliage, and just a budget pencil for the background because I wanted a solid background, but I didn't want to paint it. So I didn't want to use an expensive pencil, so I just used one that I didn't really care if I ended up using half of it, which it actually lasted very well. So yeah, I really like that one. You will see a red trend probably because I also used a lot of red in this book. So I was looking whenever I want to color Hannah Carzon, but I can't decide. Daydreams is always my default, and I was looking through and I saw this blue one that I did before. I thought it'd be cool to choose another color for another picture, so I went with red. So her name is Red, and I used Polychromos Prismacolor and just a budget pencil for the black background. And this was actually really hard because red, I don't know, there's pinks, and then there's orangey reds, and then more purpley reds. And the reason I decided to go with a black background is because I didn't feel like I had a red that was contrasting enough with everything else that I had going on that it would make it pop. And since the line work is black, I just went with black because it's more of a monochromatic scheme. Anyways, let's see. So yeah, that was really fun. I really like how her hair turned out, and that was really fun. And I just realized I did not color the key. Whoops. I'll just go back and fill that in later. Okay, Fairy Tales by Emily Ladaholt Oberg. I did one, and this is really fun and quick and relaxing. I maybe spent a couple days on it, so nothing too complex. And I did color in the windows. It's just a really, really light blue, so the camera doesn't pick it up very well, but it is there. And if I were to live in a cottage, it would be a yellow cottage, so that's why I colored it yellow. And yeah, I just think it turned out really pretty. And I used Prismacolors because Prismacolors go on beautifully on this paper because it is so smooth. They just go down like butter. So yeah, that was really fun. And I did one. I finished a whip in Femme Fatale. This is a coloring book that I released last month, and I was working on the wolf villain from Red Riding Hood. And I love how it turned out. So I used Polychromos because I found that I really like how it works on this paper better than Prismacolors do. And I think it's because it's a harder pencil. That's my guess. And then I used acrylic for this mist, and that was really fun to do. And you can kind of tell I got a little carried away with it, but it was so fun. I could just brushing across, and I think it really added to the effect of the picture very well because I kind of wanted it to be a little mysterious. So yeah, I like how that one turned out. It's my blue cottage in there. Okay. And in Fairy Miracles, I just used Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils because I haven't done a full picture with them and I wanted to do that. And so this is what I did. And you can definitely tell that they're from the same family as Faber-Castell because this is also, well, actually that's Prismacolor. I wish I had another picture to show with me side by side because you can see the same color flavors, but it's more watercolor looking. And this was really fun to do. I had a lot of fun figuring out what colors to use, and I had a lot of fun doing the glowy effect in the background, and really like how these flowers turn out. But I realized after I did the bugs that they are actually probably little bumblebees, but that's okay. It's a fairy world. That can be a made up bug. So yeah, I love how that one turned out. And then the last thing that I colored, I actually finished it yesterday, and I started it like a day and a half before I finished it. And this is it. So this is in Fantasia by Nicholas Chandrawiyanata. This is one of the later editions, so the paper, for one, it's single-sided and it's really, really thick. And I just use Inktense and it works like a dream on this paper. I love how it interacted with this particular paper, so I'm definitely going to be using Inktense a lot more in this book. And I think it's because it's so thick and toothy, whereas if you use pencil, you have a lot of white grainy space. So definitely try watercolor pencils or Inktense in here. But this was really fun because when I first saw this picture, when I was trying to decide which one to do, I picked this one, and then I was gonna do a red, the dragon red, but then I realized I already have a red dragon, so I decided to go with like a kind of an icy blue for the body, and then I didn't know what to do with the mane and the spike things, so then I was looking at my color swatches and decided to do this neon yellow green, and I think that just made this picture so much more awesome. And for the background, originally I was going to do grays. When I first was trying to come up with what colors I wanted to use, I was going to do like grays and maybe blues. And then after I did this dragon, I finished this before going to sleep, and then the next day I had this thought, what if I did it purple? And so I decided to do this nice deep purple, and I'm really, 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 really happy that I came up with that color choice, because I just think it made it really awesome looking. And I just realized that this teal color and purple were my wedding colors, so maybe that's also why I love this picture so much, is I am just drawn to that kind of color scheme. But yes, I love how Inktense worked on this paper, and I'm trying to remember what else. Oh, so I was just gonna say, so sometimes when you're working on a picture you really like and you're scared of ruining it, just put it away for the day, look at it the next day, and think on whether that color choice was good. But anyways, so that was really fun to work on. I think it turned out really cool. And last, but definitely not least, I finally finished this diamond painting. I'm gonna see if I can get it on here. On my desk. I have too much stuff. So last month I showed it, I was halfway through, and I finally decided that I just needed to get it finished. Sorry about the jiggle. So I finished it. I decided to only spend 1 week just working on the diamond painting, and that was actually really hard not to color, and that's the week that I did this, just the super fast quick one. But I just think it's turned out so cute. I'm gonna take this off so I can show the whole thing. Okay, so there we are. This is a diamond painting custom from Huacan, and it's a picture of my son when he was a newborn. And I did have a problem with some of the drills popping. So I did a rolling pin and then ironed on the back side, and then I did I just forgot the word. Went over it with Mod Podge to seal it. And then I was trying to decide how I wanted to hang it up, so I was thinking, okay, I'll just cut off the border and then mount it on foam core. So I pulled out this old painting that I had because when I was in college I had to mat and mount all of my artwork for turning in, and I had this big one, so I was gonna see if I could just use the foam core that was on the back, and then realized that this was the border of the mat board was almost as big as the diamond painting was, so I only had to make a few cuts to get the mat board big enough. So now I can just lean it against something or hang it on the wall. But that was really exciting to have this finished because it was a big diamond painting. It was only the second one that I've ever done, so it was a 40 by 60. But anyways, I feel like I rambled a lot in this video, but I hope that you enjoyed seeing what I worked on this month. Let me know what your favorite is. I think mine is the dragon. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you aren't already, be sure to be subscribed and to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Happy coloring!